Hi everyone, how are you going? Hope you're having a great day. This one's more of an addendum onto what I was talking about yesterday, however, with a bit of a different twist. And that is doing things differently to everyone else. Alright? So, as you would have seen in yesterday's live with the list behind me and that sort of stuff, like, I do things very differently to everyone else. Why is that though? Well, there's a number of reasons. But the absolute biggest reason is the fact that anyone else that's actually tried to do the things I'm planning to do has been killed off, discredited, defunded, and all sorts of other things. Right? So, in order to get to where I need to go, I need to find alternative means along the way. And that's what I've been doing. Right? And alternative methods. Right? And originally I thought I needed $100 million just to get one of those projects off the ground, just to practice with. However, over the last couple of years, I've realized I can do it for much more significantly less than that, and have worked out how to do it from almost zero. But it was the first time I've actually seen the process in my mind's eye as to doing it from 0 to 100, whereas every other time before that, it was always I visualized the process from that point. So I tried multiple methods and all these different things to get there. And the closest I got was the 250 million level. And if that deal had gone through, we would have been well on our way, right? So losing all that and having to rebuild again is basically just part of it, right? Because it's actually fortunate it happened like this. It's actually fortunate that every one of these crashes happened exactly the way it did, due to the fact that if I was actually doing the actual project that I want to get off the ground, that I'm getting off the ground, then I would have been way more disappointed in myself, right? But what this gave me was the ability to try, fail, and fall, and rebuild over and over and over again. So what did that do? It's built resilience, okay, and taught me the multiple strategies I needed for after the point of what I wanted to build anyway, okay, because there's a fair few things and stuff that I'm going to be doing, right? So because I could not actually go straight after the main target, which I'm able to do now, right, I had to come up with all these multiple ways of getting there, okay? And now I've worked out how to streamline all those and stuff to get there. But the point here and stuff is that there's no reason to fear failure, right? Which is the biggest thing school tells us and stuff. Oh, fear failure and stuff. You don't have to fear failure. Failure is actually part of all of your best learning, of your best results, okay? It has and always will be for us as well, right? And we're now taking this last couple of years, Kelly and I have taken the approach of the Wright brothers, where they're practicing flight on nice flat ground, and we're taking all the spare pieces, bits and pieces and stuff we need to achieve it each time, okay? Or another analogy is there was a study done on like 1,000 people to do with art, and it was to do with pottery, okay? The task was that they divided the group into two groups of like 500 people or something, and group A had to make as many things of pottery of the thing that they wanted to make as possible between the beginning of the month and the end of the month, so in the 30 days, right? They had to make as many iterations as possible, right? Sacrificing the idea of, going after quantity, not quality, right? And then the other group was told to focus on just one thing, okay? And just get that one thing right at the end of the 30 days, okay? So no real practicing, just get it right, okay? Which group do you think got it done better? Well, group A got it done better because they got used to the idea of working out what worked and what didn't work, right? And they did thousands of iterations each, or hundreds of iterations each, of the thing they were trying to make. So when they got to the end and they presented their final product, it was of really, really good quality because they'd practiced so many times. Okay? So it was almost habit that they could just make it. Alright? And that's what I've been doing. Right? Where I've been doing this stuff so many times, it's basically now a habit to be able to get to the $10 million levels and that sort of stuff, which we have done just in this last year, just by pure negotiations. It's now just the thing of financing those to keep the momentum and to keep the dollars rolling, so that keeps building, and that will turn into $1.5 million a year by itself, pretty much, with a couple little tweaks once it's done, right? But like the point is and stuff, because we had that skill set from way back here, I was able to negotiate to get the former business partner to leave peacefully and to settle them out in a really decent amount. And now I am negotiating ways of financing the rest of it so that I can get that moving. And I've made it so that I've negotiated with the council so that I have a little bit more leeway on a couple of different things as far as creating there. Okay? And you're going to love the things I'm creating and stuff to do that, by the way. My point is and stuff that all these different goes, they've required the ability, and not just the ability, but the willingness to let failure be part of it. And yes, each time I had come down and stuff, there was a bit of time and stuff where I was upset with myself and I bet myself up a little bit, right? But the point is and stuff, I picked myself up relatively faster each time, okay? And now it's a case of I can have a little bit of a setback and I'm back and bouncing by the end of the day. You know, it's a lot easier. But that would not, if you're going to go by what everyone else is around you doing, where they've only tried one thing once and then they talk everyone else around them out of doing or trying ever again, well, you're just going to copy their results. It's why you need to surround yourself with people that are able to help you through the growth of try, fail, fall, and learn, right? And then regrow, rebuild. Understanding that there's nothing really to be worried about, okay? You need to understand also with failure and everything and stuff, it's just an event, right? It is a sample of data, right? It's telling you you haven't quite learnt enough to get to where you want to go, right? And then you go, okay, if that's true, then what do I need to learn next? And we go and learn it, okay? And there's also the thing of, well, when it comes to fear of failure, people are more afraid of failure and trying, and they're more afraid of feedback, they're even afraid of people's opinions these days because they get offended and that type of thing, right? Those things don't actually harm our health unless we dwell on them. Unless we let them live upstairs rent-free in our heads. Okay? That's, if we can keep other people's opinions out of our heads, more often than not, our health will always rebound, our mental health will always rebound, and if our health and our mental health and stuff is rebounding, then our relationships will usually flourish, and then usually wealth is a side effect of going really well. Okay? Or at least knowing what we need to learn in order to go really well. Okay? But like, what I need people to understand is that there's nothing really to worry about as far as fear of failure, fear of growth, and that sort of stuff. You should be more concerned with, well, what am I going to regret if I do not do this now? What am I going to regret if I do not try? What am I going to regret and then start getting resentment build up if I do not fix it now? And if this resentment was to build up over time, how many people would I be telling not to chase their dreams and wrecking their lives with it? Well, that's just a cascade of stuff that I'm not willing to actually accept in myself. You know, I'll tell people and stuff to try, and do what they would like to do, would love to do. You know, put their best efforts into it, and if it doesn't quite fit with what they are trying to aim for, that just means they need to learn something more. It doesn't mean just throw it all away. You know, it means you need to learn this, and this. Right? There was an example a while ago where, you know, where someone, I was telling them exactly what the problem was in their business, right? And all they needed to do is fix this up, and fix this up within themselves and with them, and they would be able to go forward. Right? And they, you know, they didn't, but that's their choice. That's the other thing. I need to know that, like, as much as I know exactly what the problem is, the only way I can help someone is if they listen and use that resolution to the problem. Okay? But if they want to, like, throw that away, that's also their choice. Can't do much about that. But I will help them rebuild. Okay? If that's really not what... If they weren't passionate about it, it was going to fall anyway. And I need to know that as well. Alright? You need to have some sort of energy towards what you're doing. Okay? So... And like even this group is doing things as differently as possible to everyone else around me, because everyone else has been telling me niche down, niche down, niche down. Well, I'm tired of all the fucking niches out there, right? If I have to, like the next time I see a coach advertising that they only coach people with a red hair here and a black hair over here and a freckle on their ass, I'm gonna fucking block them straight away. I'm sick of the niching down process. Okay? Because what happens is that particular niche is charging like 2 or 5, 10, 15,000 just to fix that one thing. And you may get that one thing fixed in their 12-month program, whatever else they string you along for, right? But you still have to get a coach or a mentor to help fix the other things, you know? Whereas I like to do the whole lot. You know, you're having problems with anxiety, I can help you tackle anxiety. If you want to quit smoking, I can help you quit smoking. Right? Because I've been there, I've done that. If you want to quit drinking, cutting sugar, cutting out processed foods, I can help you do that. You want to make a multi-million dollar empire, a multi-billion dollar empire, I can help you do that. I've helped others do this. You know? And I've gotten so close to my own multi-billion empire and stuff. So, a quarter of the way is still bloody close. You know? Close but no cigar. And I will hit it. Alright? Because I know exactly what I did wrong. You know, and teaching people to take full accountability of themselves, completely honest with themselves. I can do that. I can teach exactly how to do that so you can get the best results out of this. You know, you want a great relationship with great communication and no arguments and great discussions where you actually fix problems, solve problems together, come out stronger, have great sex, and build shit together. I can teach that. And I do. So, I'm tired of the niching down processes, which is why I've been growing this group, or I've been growing my coaching program at the way I have. Because doing the things the same as everyone else, their programs will decline later. They're basically in the process right now of reaping the great rewards, right? But once people realize that you need a multifaceted approach, okay, that a lot of the time these niche coaches and stuff are actually advertising one thing, but they're doing this and this and this and this anyway, right? Their niches and stuff will start to dissipate, and then they'll start to struggle anyway. So I get that, right? I don't want to be one of the ones in decline. I want to be in the incline, right? I'm gonna keep growing it and make something great of it. Okay? Understanding that everyone that's being attracted to the group wants help with not just one thing. Right? A lot of our minds are like a big ball of wire, or the Christmas lights at Christmas time. You know, the person and stuff that's just chucked the Christmas lights into the bag, hasn't sorted it out at all, and next Christmas you try and come out and it's a big fucking ball. right? That's how our brains basically have been, like, especially with the tampering of media and relatives and fucking stupid sister-in-laws trying to tell us what to do and what not to do, you know, when they haven't done anything themselves, you know, when they failed high school themselves or anything like that, right? They're trying to tell you, no, this is why we get the Christmas light type mess in our heads, okay? But I've understood and I've worked out how to get absolute crystal clarity by taking this light out and just threading it through this way and taking care of this problem as that arises and letting people know that when this particular piece unravels this feeling, that it's okay to feel that. It's part of the process. And there's not many people that can teach exactly what I do. And so either way, I have to do everything differently to what everyone else does around me. So, I think that's what I wanted to cover in this video today. So, don't be afraid of being different to everyone else. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be more concerned with regret. Don't even be afraid of death. Right? Death is a part of life. We have no control as to when it's going to happen, right? Except in those, particular cases we all know about that we don't want to actually say. Okay, I've had heaps of people lose themselves and stuff to that. Okay, but like other than that one example type, right? We don't really have a dictation on when we were going to pass away. Okay, the idea is to enjoy our life experience, learn as much as we can from our life experience, and delay the death part. You know. There are people out there and stuff that I'm sure there's one or two idiots out there in the wide world and stuff that does actually aim to be fat, lazy, and broke by the end of their life. But like, I don't see any point aiming for that. I want to help those that want to be healthy and full of vitality and loving and caring and still actively social, right? And still able to do shit and stuff when we're 100, 110 years old. Okay? So, yeah. I like doing things differently, and I encourage you all to do things differently. And if you've found yourself really resonating with a lot more than just one or two of these videos, then you're on the right track. You're doing well. You know? You're going to be doing great things very soon, if you're not already. You know? And I encourage that. I support that. And I want to help with that. You know? So, that's the other thing. Don't be afraid of death. Right? Just like, we've been lied to so many times on this thing. Right? That, like, people keep on making this big deal about sharks. Right? There's like 15 people a year that get killed by sharks. Do you know what kills 120 people a year? Coconuts. Coconuts falling out of trees kill 120 people a year on average. Just by sunbaking on the beach, you can have a coconut fall on your head and that's it, you're done. You know? And yet people want to make a big deal about sharks. You know? If you really want something that's dangerous, go try and talk to my mother-in-law. You know? That's freaking scary. Anyway, have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.